Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. Johnny Say, Jay Say, Beyonce here on the mic to give you a little catch up, a little design thinking 101. So let's bring it over and let me walk you through. This isn't even really a mic. Let's go. So what is design thinking, you're probably asking? Well, I've decided we're just gonna walk through it, right? So where did it come from? Let's start back at the beginning, a little bit of history. These two crazy brothers at Stanford University in the early 90s both studied computer engineering. And what they realized is they needed some kind of process to organize their thoughts. So they kind of framed the question. They thought, how might we engineer like a designer? Those two things, they sound like they don't go together. Engineering, very structured, robotic, right? Designer, artsy, a mustache like mine. No, there's more to that. They thought they could make a process for creativity. Well, what would that look like? After thinking a lot, they came up with 5 concrete steps as a creativity as a process. So first you define it. Well, let's start with people. So we're gonna focus on people. So we're gonna understand them first. We're gonna go out, we're gonna talk to people. We're gonna hear what problems they're having. Then we're gonna define what kind of opportunities we might have within those problems. Then we're gonna come up with a whole bunch of solutions. As you can see from this beautiful, poorly drawn umbrella, we're gonna brainstorm. We're gonna use a couple techniques to come up with a large quantity of ideas. Then we're gonna filter down and we're gonna kind of make a little experiment. We're gonna make a first example. And then we're gonna test it, our magic juice, on some users, people that really can tell us whether we're going in the right direction or not. Once we get there, we'll have a good validated product that we can restart the cycle because innovation never sleeps, right guys? So let's keep going into it. What are the 3 basic pillars of design thinking that give it its strength and its base? All right, here we go. Very simple. Multidisciplinary teams. What does that mean, Johnny? I'll tell you, Brooke, thanks for asking. Basically, what we're gonna look for is different types of backgrounds and profiles with different experiences. What that does is when we build a product, we're able to construct it more holistically. That means every side of it has a different perspective, understanding. Every person in the room contributes a different factor. So together, we make a better product. Second of all, we're gonna focus on the user. A lot of times, businesses, they build products without even talking to the user. Well, how can we know that'll work in the market? What we do instead of that is we start with the user and start with their problems so that we directly provide a solution to their needs. And lastly, the most important is co-creation. Although people sitting in a room all alone at their desk, white-walled, that sounds more like a jail than anything else. But although that's what we think creativity is, isolated geniuses, it's really about building on the ideas of others. So in co-creating and collaborating, multiple minds come up with better solutions than a single individual. So let's keep it rolling, all right? Now you're probably wondering, cool, Johnny, you said a bunch of fun words and you've done a bunch of hand movements and you touched your face like 50,000 times, but how can it help me in my workday? Well, let's break it down for you, okay? I've got 5 or 6 steps where it could help you. Before starting a project, it provides alignment and it also gives you a plan that is easily actionable. So then instead of going in circles, you're allowed to go directly to where you need to go. We'll talk more about that later. Next, when you get stuck on a problem, just like you stepped in gum, but it's super crazy, super strong gum that won't let you go, and it's really a monster, and it's gonna end your life because it's so frustrating and annoying. So, the problem. It allows you to have new perspective and new ideas. From there, we can come up with solutions and opportunities. Let's go, the third guy. When you can't find the problem, you're on a safari, you don't even know where the root cause is. This helps you find that root cause and understand where this issue is coming from. We've got 2 more. Keep going, Brooke. Stuck in an endless cycle of meetings, debates, feedback that keeps changing your designs or ideas and never arriving at a solution. Design thinking allows you to really well define the direction you need to head and act. Not just define it, but also act upon it by breaking it down into eatable little bites that are very, very actionable. And lastly, when you have too many good ideas or too many projects, too many problems, it helps you prioritize, which is the most necessary to fix. All right, so now we know maybe when we can use it a little bit, but Brooke, quickly swing around and videotape the ground. Why design thinking? Well, easy, follow me. we've got 3 simple points that really are the core to why use design thinking. Because it really well aligns teams. It allows for democratic voice between all the participants. It also increases the communication and allows you to get deeper into problems. Second of all, speed. Speed to market, we'll quote IBM, is
75
faster using design thinking. That's a high number. Realistically, when you have a plan and you have actionable steps and you have effective communication, it does make you get to market faster. And lastly, failure. Oh no, not failure. Thank you, crowd. Calm down. I'll solve that problem. So failure. When we fail early, that mitigates risks. What I mean is, when we understand what the users need, what the real problem is, then the solution we create and test early on will allow us to know if we're heading in the right direction. So if we continuously fail early while testing, we can improve the solution before throwing it out to market. So guys, I hope this video helped. It's just a short chat about design thinking and trying to give you a little more context about how I can help you. And lastly, I like to think I'm not the one that builds the ship. I'm not the one that really knows how or where we're going. The only thing I do is kind of help show you how to sail the ship. So your experience is the ship. Your knowledge is the direction we want to go. My job is just to give you the tools and the means to get from where you are to where you need to go. Thank you. Goodbye.